Hello everyone, it is Sunday, it is 7 o'clock and it is time for the infamous Wilson Waffling.
Wilson Waffling.
Oh, sorry about that. I am so sorry for that. let me just get the right header up. Hello everyone and welcome to Wilson Waffling Live. I don't know what happened there, but just at the last moment Wirecast crashed yet again, and I'm here on a Sunday night. Welcome to the stream to start off with. Oh no, not welcome to the stream. I keep thinking I'm on Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch. I'm on, well, I thought I might be on YouTube tonight, so I'm actually trying desperately to, I don't know whether or not I actually want to move away from Wirecast and not Wirecast, sorry, away from Wirecast and Ustream, and sort of like go to YouTube and just sort of like broadcast straight onto YouTube at the present moment in time. But I'm not too sure how it actually works on YouTube, and I've got the stream over here at the moment, but nothing seems to be happening about it. Nothing seems to be happening at all, and I'm not too sure whether or not it's actually working or whether or not there's anything going on. Oh, there we go. It actually says here. Oh yes, I can see it. Fantastic, how exciting. I've got another chat window, so some of you might actually be watching this or listening this to on Wilson Waffling YouTube. Wilson Waffling YouTube, fantastic. So anyway, I don't know, at the beginning, every time I run the first, sorry, I've got a really bad throat at the moment. I'm still suffering from a bit of a cold. I got a polo in my mouth that I was sucking before I came on air to try to get it lubricated down there. But so now I'm trying to talk and at the same point a suck a polo, which is not the best thing or the easiest thing to do in the world. I don't know how long I'm going to last tonight with my throat, but I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So, welcome to Wilson Waffling Live on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. And we're going to have a fun-packed show. I've got the normal segment, so we've got Tweets of the Week, which will be coming up shortly when I have a look at all some of the choice moments from my Twitter feed throughout the week. We've then got the website roundup, which is when we have I share with you some web pages that I've seen or some interesting things that I've seen. We've then got, of course, the opinion minion, when I sit here and tell you my opinion about something, and of course that's nothing connected to the where I work or anything like that. It's just purely my opinion. We've got, of course, the wonderful game of draw something, when I actually will draw something, and you'll be pleased to know that despite it being really difficult last week, somebody actually got the answer. And then finally we'll have the montage, the Minecraft montage, where I bring you up to date with what's happening in the Minecraft world, which I must admit is not a lot, but something is happening. And then finally we'll have Ask Wilson Waffling. What a packed show. How are we going to fit it all in? Well, we're going to fit it all in by actually starting, which is, I think, is always the best thing. Don't forget that you can, of course, follow me on Twitter. So if you have any thing that you would like to say, then by all means just tweet me. And remember, if your account is privated, then unless I'm following you, I won't see that, so make sure you unprivate this tweet. Of course, you can go along to YouTube, and I'm broadcasting live on YouTube at the moment, and there is a little box there for you to say something. And of course, if you're watching me on Ustream and you're actually on the website, then by all means log into the chat there, and you can join in the chat there as well. So there's you could be all over the place. You could be all over the place. Please also remember that if you're actually watching this on YouTube, then sadly you've missed the chat. sadly you've missed the chat, and there's no point you looking. No point you looking, because it's gone. It's gone altogether. So let's kick off straight away without further ado, and let's go straight into the tweets of the week. Tweets of the week. Tweets. Did I spit there? If I spat there, I do apologise. Tweets of the week. Yeah, so this is where we have a look at some of the things which have graced my Twitter feed over the week. I'm just pulling Wirecast over here because I don't need my whole screen. I can just do it straight from Wirecast. I don't know. Everything's loaded in here. So, tweet of the week. So to start off with, I would like to say that this week has been full of people tweeting about students tweeting about what they've been doing actually in class and actually sharing it with the world. So first thing I must say, here's a tweet, because the second years have been out on SOTS placements this week. Now SOTS stands for Settings Other Than Schools. Okay, and settings other than schools is when the students go out and work in different museums and locations and outdoor pursuit centres and things like this around the world. I wish there are some international visits, but mainly it's sort of like during within sort of like the general area of university. And this is two lads out at the Heritage Centre at the Leeds City Varieties there, having some fun and participating. We also had a whole load of artwork this week being tweeted, and this is was from the 1QT SW1 art lesson, which is the wider curriculum there, and I was so impressed with this sculpture. I actually thought this sculpture is made out of clay, but I thought this was fantastic. It was representing emotions, but I was well impressed with what this looked like. And I actually tweeted this student and said that I think they could actually take that, make it out of bronze, and it could actually be sold. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I thought that was a wonderful piece of artwork. Keeping with artwork, we also had, not keeping with artwork, the other thing that we had was that we had some PSHE work here, and you can see this is from Mr. Ike, I think his name is, and he was doing some hands with feelings on, feeling very loved. So you can see that at YSJ we not only do artwork and things and SOTS placements, but we also look at personal well-being as well. And of course, the week would not be complete. The week would not be complete without some science, and we actually enjoyed some science, and we were looking at misconceptions and trying to get the students to think about why things happen in science. And here we could say who this Beth tweeted here, who knew putting raisins in lemonade at 10 a.m. could be interesting. It's science, Beth. Of course it's interesting. Of course it's interesting. What else would it be apart from interesting? So we've had lots of tweets from the students, and I must say it is the best year for tweets this year from the students. There's been a huge amount of people tweeting, and the hashtag YSJPrimeEd has been alive. It's taken me roughly about 20 minutes to half an hour every single day to actually keep up to date with what's going on that Twitter feed. So students, if you're listening, well done. Keep it up. It's lovely to see it, and lots of people interacting and getting involved in it. Now, as well as that, this week, of course, was The Apprentice was on. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, or last week, I actually showed you a tweet that was to do with Great British Bake Off, and I thought I'll have to find a tweet this week to do with Ian brainwork, The Apprentice. So I don't know if you knew this, but they had to create shampoos, and then they had to market it and things like that. And Karen Brady, I think her name was, sat there and commented about one of the apprentices' marketing pitch. She said it felt like it was so boring, it felt flat, it felt like a university lecture. I thought, what, Karen? What? And I quickly tweeted, you obviously haven't been in any of my lectures, because I hope my lectures are not flat and boring. But also I was pleased to see that, and somebody else, and a professor, which is way above me, a professor from York University also tweeted at the same time, and they said, come and sit in some of mine, #The Apprentice. And that was Professor David Smith there of York University, who is also, I think I get this title right, I think he's a National Teaching Fellow for his work. He has a YouTube channel, and his students actually make YouTube videos in chemistry. So that was a bit of science there as well, and that came into the a bit of Apprentice that came into the tweets of the week. So that was the tweets of the week, and next, yes, so sorry, end segment. So that was the tweets of the week. And we are back. Yes, we're back. So was that quite a short tweets of the week? I can't. It seemed to have gone very quickly. It seems to have gone really, really quickly, and I can't. It seemed a bit short. So hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully it was the right amount of time. So I'm just going to move Wirecast over there so I can actually, the wonders of two screens, eh? The wonders of two screens, so we can see what's happening. We've done the student week. We are now going to go on to, we're going to keep in a rounding up mood. And of course we're going to go straight over to the website roundup. It's a website roundup. Yeah, how are you? Oh, do you know, I have a feeling I might as well just leave this tonight, because after every segment I keep saying, how are you? I've been streaming this afternoon on Twitch, and how come when I'm streaming on Twitch it goes a lot better than streaming on this show? Why is that? Perhaps it's because this show has more content or more fixed content. I don't know. So before we look at the website roundup, I would like to make a confession, yet another one. I was so excited last week, because I thought my radio show was going to go live, and lots of people. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much to everybody who tuned in or tried to tune in to hear my radio broadcast on last Tuesday. There was loads of people tweeting me and messaging me and texting me saying, what's happening? Where are you? Can I just say, please, that to start off with, that number one, thank you very much for that support. I really do appreciate it. And I'm so sorry that some of you might have wasted some time waiting for it to go live. And also, I do apologise to everybody who couldn't get on and thought it was their fault. And it wasn't actually your fault at all. It was our fault. And what happened was that there was a technical error, and the laptop that we were using wouldn't keep connected to the the radio website. So every time we started to stream music, it just sort of like crashed, and then all you guys got was a whole load of buffering. Now, I actually sat there for some time waiting to go online, getting more nervous, and it never happened. But I am assured that this week on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I will be my radio program, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Wilson Waffling on the radio will be here on Radio YSJ. So please, I know I let you all down last week. I know I did that. But please, can you come along again this week? And just come along and have a listen and see what you like. Now, hopefully it's going to be, I've been reassured that it's going to be a regular segment, a regular part of the show, Wilson Waffling on the radio. So if you're interested, then tune in to this website here. It's a bit like Strictly Come Dancing. Phone me. To this website at about 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock this Tuesday, that's GMT time, is my show. So by all means, tune in and have a listen and hopefully enjoy. Right, let's get back to the website roundup. And there are certain things that I would like to show you. And these could have come in Tweets of the Week, but they require a type of animation. So I thought I would show them here. So first things first, let me just get it. So this is it's called The Evolution of a Desk. Okay, and I'm just waiting for it to go right the way back to the beginning, and then I'm going to here we go, quick. So this is The Evolution of the Desk, and it's quite interesting. I really do like it, because what happens, I'll just make it a bit bigger so you can see it. Can you see that as we go through time, you can see the time going along the bottom. You can see that then things change and come on. So there goes Blogger, there goes Google Maps, there goes Facebook, the calendar, Skype, the contacts, the YouTube videos, the iBooks come in, and then all of a sudden everything from the desk is all on the computer with those apps. It goes from there. There's a Polaroid camera there. Did you see that? Everything goes on, and it is actually in line with the timing. So the years are actually correct as well. So I thought that was a really good thing. So that was actually a tweet from somebody called Kim Sutton at Teach Miss Sutton, but I thought it was really good, and I really liked it. So keeping on the same sort of like idea, I don't know if you remember last week, but last week somebody asked me in the Ask Waffling Wilson section, somebody asked me what if I had a tattoo, what the tattoo would be. And I decided that it was probably going to be some kind of impossible geometric shape, like an impossible triangle or something like that. And you'd be pleased to know that I actually did, throughout the week, I actually found a GIF, or a GIF, depending how you say it. I say GIF, of the impossible triangle. And so here it is. I'm going to go full screen on this one so you can see it as I play it. So here's the impossible triangle. And I'm just going to refresh the page so you can see it. So here it goes. How bear with it. How weird is that as you watch the ball go round? The impossible triangle. It's one of those weird things that you suddenly think, hang on a minute. There it goes along the top, along, and then up. Hang on, how did it end up out there? So I thought well, that was fantastic. So that was another part of the website roundup. I must admit, I have to make an apology now, because this week's website roundup, there is not a lot of funny things. there's not a lot of funny things, serious things this week. It's all funny things. But I do have two serious things. Here's the first one. And this is, I often like to sort of like point out if I get published, not in a book, but I've been, this is a little piece of writing that I did for the LTHE chat. So there's Learning and Teaching in Higher Education chat. And here is me, look, Ian's story. And this is I participate in the LTHE chat badge. And I actually have this on my website, and they asked me to write a bit of writing, a short piece of writing, why I have it there. And I'll just read you a little bit. The internet is often perceived as a sterile, inhuman place inhabited by binary code, white space and images. But behind each of those pages there exists a person, a real person, entering in the data and thoughts which are being shared with the world. Often we are searching for a sign, a lighthouse signal that we recognize or identify with. And that's the one that's what I was referring to. I put at the end, I advertised a badge on my site. Arthur Ashe, American tennis player, once said, "Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can." For me, the badge is a starting point, and I'm doing what I can with what I have to share this with the internet and to encourage people to join the LTHE chat community. There you go. That was my bit of writing. No replies, but I still like it. I thought that was quite a good. I thought that was a good piece of writing. So by all means, nip along to lthechat.com to find my story about why I use the badge. And staying on a bit of a serious note. Last week in mathematics, or the week before, sorry, we were looking at images, models and images. And I found this on the website that was called 4 add 3 is equal to 2, add something. And this I really liked, and I really like this blog. This is myclassroom.wordpress.com, and it's really interesting how they've set this out here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can zoom in even further for you. There you go. I think this is a really interesting mathematical problem, because a lot of the time children just want to put 7, and it's a real misconception about what that equal sign means, because a lot of the time people are thinking that means and the answer is, and it actually means that is the equivalent to, or I think here she has another word for it. I actually look at it to say that this side should equal this side, and it's almost like that equivalence or equal to, like a balance. Okay, and that to me is really important. So this is a website that you're interested in looking into. It's called thisismyclassroom.wordpress.com. Okay, if you'd like to look at that. So those were two rather serious bits, my own articles, self-promotion, but also that piece of that blog about models and images. And to finish it off, this was a web page that I saw or found while on Facebook, and it's 26 funny cat pictures. 26. What else do you want on a Sunday afternoon? But 26. Look at that one. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Look at it. It's just sort of like, doo-doo. I just think that is fantastic. Whoever managed to get that, and I really do hope that they haven't photoshopped it. But I just thought that was fantastic. Oh, look. Oh, that is so sweet. A bit worried about those cats really close to the water, though. I don't know what's going on there. This is very clever, look. With a cat sat behind the picture, but its tail. This is a cat drinking Pepsi out of a straw. Go past the advert. Yeah, this is just a shadow and somebody stuck eyes on it, so I don't like that. This is clever. These were two kittens Two kittens, look, coming in and out of the tube, which is clever, very clever. Very, very good photograph taking there, just at that last moment, or the right moment. Do cats do that? Do cats actually stand up like that? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Yep, another quick photographer there. Don't like that one. What's going on here? I just don't believe that. I do hope that this woman hasn't just chucked that cat. I just thought that was absolutely so funny. It's just all like, as it comes down. What's look at this, like quietly eating a bit of coffee here, and wow, over it goes, a jumping cat in the background. Very clever, very clever, but I don't know whether or not it's staged. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's the real cat's face there, but anyway, don't want to look at that one. Don't want to look at that one. Yeah, clever. That is quite good. Another very good instantly snapped photograph. And same with that one. I think some of these might actually be set up, but they're still funny. Look, so the dog's underneath it. This is Ninja Cat holding on to the dog. I don't know whether or not that's actually real. Anyway, that was the funny cats. The funny cats. And that's not a funny cat. Oh, yes, it is. It's so like sat there. So that was my funny part. My funny part for website roundup. Hope you enjoyed that. No, I never know whether or not when I click that it's just going to go straight back to the to my actual microphone, but it never does. I have to click it to actually acknowledge get it working again. So that was what let me check my list. So we've done that, right. Before we go any further, let's just check on the chat. I'm just having a look on YouTube. Nobody in YouTube at the moment, nobody on there. I've just posted sort of like a hello on YouTube. I wish we could get YouTube actually working, guys, for this rather than using Ustream. I really like Ustream, but I think it's really hard to chat on it, and I think YouTube's a lot more friendly about it. But I'm just sort of like thinking, oh, can people watch it? It says there's one person watching at the moment, but I think that might be me. I think that one person watching might be me. The other thing I don't know is that I don't actually know whether or not you need a YouTube account to talk in the chat, or whether or not anybody can actually talk in the chat. So that's the other thing. And at one point with this show, I tried to get I think it was called an IRC chat room, so anybody could just log in. And I've tried so many things to get chat going, but do you know, the interesting thing is, and I am considering this a great deal, when I'm streaming on the game, then I always go to Twitch. But with Twitch, you need an account as well. But Twitch is full of gamers, and gamers have Twitch accounts. So you get a chat going on. With this live show, I never know where we want to be. Now, I was looking at a whole load of YouTubers throughout the week, and a lot of them do live shows, but I think their followers are actually on YouTube. So they have a lot of subscribers on YouTube and things like that. So they sort of like, people must have their own accounts on YouTube. And so they can actually just sort of like tune in and while they go live. The interesting thing is, I'm just thinking how many, I'm just checking my channel. I have 46 subscribers. 46 subscribers. So it would be nice for, I wonder whether or not any of them are actually around that can actually log in and actually see whether or not they can actually talk to me in that chat room. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So let's go on to the next part of the show, which we're going to have the opinion minion. It nearly happened again. I was busy drinking water. And it nearly went. So, opinion minion time. Yeah. And today we are going to be looking at something that I've already had a chat about with someone. And somebody asked my opinion of this. And I thought, oh, right. This is a good time to have an opinion minion slot. And I don't know whether or not you're aware of this, but on the about 15th of October this week, there was an announcement made on the news that there was going to be a new school in Kent, and it's going to be a satellite school of another school, but it was going to be a grammar school. It wasn't going to be a comprehensive school, it was going to be a grammar school. And all of a sudden, the social media, the website, the news just went like this. And it was absolutely unbelievable. And I got asked at the end of the tutorial this week, what were my thoughts about grammar schools? And I thought, yeah, this is really interesting, actually. What are my views about grammar schools? And I had a chat with the guy who asked me the question, and I thought I'll share them with you now. So, this wasn't the write-up. This was one of the sort of like saying what are they, and why are they controversial. So, just before we go any further, let's just clear up what they are. So, when I was growing up, and it's sort of like I think it sort of like dates back to about the Education Act of about 1944. This, but one thing that happened is schools used to instead of doing SATs in year 6 as we have now. One thing that used to happen is that we used to have what's known as the 11 plus. And the 11 plus was used to select, via academic ability, select children to go to a grammar school rather than what was called a secondary modern school. And the actual 11 plus I can't remember revising for it or anything. All I remember, and I remember it quite clearly, that one day we got to school and the teachers had said, oh right, we're going into the hall today to do a little bit of a test. And we went to the hall and we did something, and I remember doing it and then coming out, and that was it. And that's all I remember. And it was only sometime after that. I don't remember any hype about it or anything, but I don't know why. It can't have been a big thing. But sometime after it, I remember getting a letter through saying that I had passed. No idea how. I had passed the 11 plus. And so therefore, I wouldn't be going to a secondary modern school. I had the right to go to a grammar school. And I think it was very much like a right. Now, this sort of like test involved things like mathematics, verbal reasoning, English comprehension, punctuation, grammar, non-verbal reasoning, and like creative writing. So it was the sort of things that you had to sort of like read and decide upon. So to give you an idea, this is from the BBC website, news website. This was one of the sort of like the problems. Identify which, if any, of the birth shades have been rotated to form the shape below. So you had to sort of like think which ones of these have been rotated to do that shape. Okay, and then that was it. You had to sort of like figure it out, which one it was, why it was, and that was it. Okay, so, or select the option, which sentence has the most suitable grammar. Okay, so forth and so on. So just out of interest, the answers are down at the bottom. Okay, so this was the one that had been rotated. So just in case you were wondering. So the question is this good? Is this good or is it not? Now, eventually what happened was that the Labour government, I think, came in, and a lot of the grammar schools were removed, and they were changed or joined together to become comprehensive schools. And so, where I live at the moment in York, comprehensive schools are what were there. And that was it. So, the big question is, what's my view about this? Now, first things first. One thing I disagree with about the grammar school system, and I really do disagree with it, is the sense that grammar schools were single-sexed schools. So the school that I went to was all boys, and the girls' grammar school was naturally all girls. And I don't think that's a healthy situation for people to grow up in. I don't think it's healthy to have all boys and all girls separated and segregated like that. And although you will find out in a minute that I don't see anything necessarily wrong with the grammar school system how it was, I do believe in co-ed. I really do think that it is beneficial for people to be educated together. I think personally, and I've got no research to support this, I think personally it allows them also to develop more social skills and interaction with the opposite gender, etc., etc. Now, as for the 11 plus, I've worked in education for a long time, and I have seen the problems and the stress that some children go through for SATs. I really have seen that. And even to the case of having to go and collect some students, some children to bring them in, or children being physically sick and things like that. And I think it's awful that we put them through it. Now, I don't remember that for the 11 plus, and whether or not that is true or not, some schools might have done a whole load of revision, I'm not too sure. But to me, it just seemed to be another day. So I think it has an advantage over there. The other thing that I feel is that the 11 plus was maybe, you couldn't revise for it, I don't think. I think it relied on some kind of natural ability there, or natural intellect, or natural reasoning. And the other thing is, I felt it wasn't just sort of like regurgitating facts. It was actually answering questions about reasoning and verbal reasoning, which I think sort of like is how my brain sort of like works more. A lot of people said it was selective, and it actually says in the article, it actually says that, and I'm reading it now, that the selective education system reinforced class division and middle class privilege. Now, I was quite shocked when I heard that. Because I passed the 11 plus, and I mean, I'm very open about who I am and what I am and where I've come from, etc. And you know, I was brought up from the age of 11, I think it was, in a single parent family on income support, and there's 5 children in the family, and you know, my mom worked really hard and to make ends meet, etc., etc. And I passed my 11 plus, and I can safely say that I'm not middle class, or I certainly wasn't then, and I always felt accepted at grammar school. I think there was a big push on education, but I felt accepted. I remember that the uniforms and things like that were very expensive, but because we wore blazers and things like that, but I didn't feel there was a massive divide. If you want to talk about whether or not it's wrong to select children on ability to go to a certain school, then the other thing that I can remember, and somebody will have to pick me up on this if it's true, I do remember at some point that you could redo the test sort of like at the end of your first year at secondary school, I think. So if you passed it then, you could move up to grammar school if you passed it then, but I'm not too sure about that. I think it's really interesting, this idea of being selective and saying if you pass that, you can go to that school, and that's really positive or really negative. Because sometimes I think, is therefore streaming wrong? Because you take a test and then you're put into a different ability set or a different ability group. I mean, is that any different to grammar schools? You know, and say, let's separate it out. The other thing that I must say in that I felt was both positive and negative with the grammar school system was that there was never, ever, ever a discussion about me leaving school at 16 or even not going to university. It was as if sort of like that was going to happen and I just had to do it. And I look back now, and of course I'm really interested in technology and things like that, and I sometimes wonder now whether or not it would have been better for me to sort of like leave at 16 and get into the computer business and what I would be doing now. But then I sort of like think, you know, well, I probably wouldn't be doing this, you know, so, but I wouldn't have gone probably be in university now. But it was really interesting that that was the procedure, that was the route I was going to take, and there was no other discussion as far as I remember. I also remember that there was a huge push on education and learning, and we were all sort of like funneled along with that. And even to the case that I remember the choices that we had at grammar school. One of them was either the art subjects or Latin and classical studies. That was the sort of like the split. And so if you didn't want to do an art subject, that you had to do Latin, you know, a language, which looking back I was thinking, wait, what's the connection there? Where on earth did that come from? You know, so that was another interesting thing. I think I'm not too keen on testing children's ability, i.e. for the sake of national tests. I'm all in favour of formative assessment and gaining an understanding, but I think there's much better ways to do it than a SAT paper. If the selective system of grammar schools came back in again, I can safely say that I personally wouldn't be worried about it. And I know a whole load of you might just be throwing your arms up in the air in disgust now. And hopefully some of you might even sort of like reply to me and say, Ian, do you know what you're talking about? But to me, okay, it's a grammar school. We're selecting on ability. I don't think it's a class divide. I really do not think that. I think it's supporting the sort of like the high achievers and maybe giving them further options. And sometimes I think it's those children that we sometimes forget about. You know, and I've done a lot of work with special needs children and middle of the road children and supporting them. And sometimes I feel we forget about those high achievers. So perhaps this was, or now is, a suitable way to support them. So that was this week's opinion minion. And we are back. Did you enjoy that? I always feel very intense after that. Very, very intense and think, oh, have I said the right thing? Luckily, nobody's on YouTube to sort of like say, oh, what are you talking about? What you're talking about? No, nobody said that. So let's move on to something a little bit different and a little bit more light-hearted. And you probably know what I'm doing now because it often takes me, let me move the keyboard. It often takes me a while to get all this set up. And because we are going to, and I know I haven't done it yet and I apologize. We're going to actually have a go at the infamous draw something. Now, it's nearly worked straight away. It has nearly worked straight away. You'll be so shocked about this, because look, here we are, straight in. Look, can you remember this one? This was Back to the Future, and was it Wednesday? Was it Wednesday or was it next Wednesday? That's the actual day that the Back to the Future car was set to, October 2015. I think it was the 25th. Is that right? 29. Anyway, it was something like that, or next Saturday. So let's have a look. This was last week's film on Draw Something. Do you remember this? Last week's film on Draw Something. And I must admit, it was really hard. But I am pleased to say that somebody rose to the challenge. And actually got it right. And here's a tweet that I tweeted early on in the week. And I put, it's proving rather difficult. Can you guess this week's Draw Something competition? And Ian Mensch said it was Parent Trap. And Ian was correct. It was indeed Parent. Can you see the Parent Trap? So this is the parent and that's the trap. Fantastic. So well done, Ian. So let's go on to this week's Draw Something. And I haven't got the fancy graphics or anything like that. So here we go. This is this week's film. It's a film again. And it's it's actually 4 words, but let's try it. Let's go for this. So okay, bear with me. Remember, I'm not the best drawer around. Bear with me. Here we go. This is... Bear with me. Oh dear. I tell you, you're never going to get this one. You're never going to get this one in a month of Sundays because the drawing is so bad. Okay, that's the first word. And this is the second word. Okay, we're going to go for this sort of like colour. So this is the second word. Let's see if you can get this. Remember, I'm drawing this with my finger. I'm trying my best here. There you go. That's the second one. Now, I don't think anybody's going to get this. I think this is the hardest one I've ever done. I'm just looking at it thinking nobody in this world is going to get this. So, just to be clear, it's 4 words. 2 of them are really small. So it's this and that. Okay, so can you guess what this week's Draw Something is? Okay, now, if you listen to Minster FM, Minster FM actually does a similar game to me. But can I just say, I'm sure I was doing it first. I'm sure I was actually doing it first before they picked it up. But that is this week's Draw Something. There's a full-size picture of it coming up now. There's a full-size picture of it. What film is that? What film is that? Can you guess what it is? I wonder. So, that is the end of the Draw Something segment. Good grief. Notice, I think the students are better at art than me. End of Draw Something. Here we go. Oh dear, there we go. So that was the end of Draw Something. So let's move that away. Let's put that up there. Let's just click this back onto YouTube so I can see what's happening on YouTube. Nothing at the moment. The other thing I'm really interested about is whether or not does YouTube actually record the events. That's the other thing that I'm really interested in, whether or not it actually records the events. And I must see what's actually happening at the beginning with this Wilson Waffling titles, because it's not running. It hasn't run well ever since the beginning. Now, we're going to have a quick one here. This is going to be the quick Minecraft montage. No, it's not. Where's Minecraft montage gone? The Minecraft montage. That was cool, wasn't it? Anyway, Minecraft montage. Right, first of all, I have to apologize. I have to apologize to all my Minecraft fans and my 4 people who play on my server. I cannot get 16 people on it at the moment in any case, but 4 people on my server. I know I am so far behind on it. It's absolutely unbelievable. I actually set up a new project on my OmniFocus account, which is what I use for my task management. And I actually made that up to try desperately to try to get myself into the routine. I've also done a setup for streaming when I'm actually streaming on Twitch, and to try to get back to go to the gym. Yeah, I know this doesn't come natural. I have to work on it, but things have just been so busy recently. It's been impossible. So, and tomorrow I know I don't finish teaching until 7 o'clock. Tuesday I'm 7 o'clock, and then I'm straight onto the radio show, so I won't be finished till about 9. And the rest of the week is probably just as busy. So hopefully, if you're awaiting the Minecraft server, the Skyblock server, the Creative World, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be up and running soon. And what I'm planning on doing is hopefully to give a big event and to record it, so I can sort of like get everybody there and we can all log on and sort of like get down to it and I'm going to try to film it so I can post a video. So I'm going to be, once I get it all set up, I'm going to make a Facebook event from the Minecraft server, and then we're going to all get there and you can meet everybody on the server. So if you would like to join the Minecraft server, then by all means go along to if you go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk and then click the Minecraft server account, then you can go along to the Minecraft page and give me the details of your account, because it's a whitelisted server, and then we can get you on and you could be part of that big opening launch that we're going to have. So that was a very quick Minecraft montage, and the reason I'm getting quicker is that we've only got about 8 more minutes, and then the show will be finishing. So before we go any further, we are going to go along to the Ask Wilson Waffling segment of the show.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Please note, the new number is
Ask Waffling Wilson.
Hello, it's me. Yeah, it's me. It's Ask Waffling Wilson here. So if you would like to go along and ask me a question, then you can go along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and then you can go there and there's a button that says Ask Me, and you can go straight there, and that will take you straight to this page. This is the page that you get to, and up here you can just type in your question. You can ask it anonymously if you wish, or you can put your name in and then ask it. That's totally up to you. And then what I do is that I post the answer underneath. So this is, if you got a tattoo, what would it be? And I post a little segment of the show when I've actually given you the answer, and you can see them all here. So you can see it goes back after a while. It goes in without, because I just like did the answers, but it does go quite the way back. Look, I've had quite a lot. That's my pussycat. She always makes an appearance. So look here, it actually says, how old are you? And I said 47, 48 at Christmas, and that's 12 months ago. Now, the interesting thing is, I'll be 49 at Christmas, so you can see how long Wilson Waffling Live has been going. Look, all the way under. Which fairy tale would you like to live in? Definitely Cinderella. Cinderella. So it's been going for quite... What's the most important thing in a relationship? That was one of the first questions I had. Oh no, it goes on, look. So, should we read a lot of books? I put, nah, just listen to them and then you can multitask. So, this is one of my favourite answers. It says, what is your favourite sport? And I put, is typing a sport? I like that. That was all right. Anyway, there is a question today. I can see it's there. So this is when we go over to. I go over to my little iPad now, my iPad, my iPhone, and we have a look at the question, and then that tells me what the question is, and then we can answer it. So it says, what's the last book you read? Really good question, whoever said that. The last book I read. Now, if anybody, I think this is somebody who hasn't been in my science lessons this week. Because this week in science, we've been talking about planning for science. And I quoted from the last book I've read. Now, and the quote actually, I think it's an SAS quote, but it actually says, fail to plan, plan to fail. And this is what I was telling the students. Anyway, the answer to that question is two things. Number one, I don't actually read. I can read, and I do read educational books and theory books. But when I'm reading fiction books, I actually listen to them, and I actually have them on my iPad or iPod, and I listen to them, and I get my books from audible.co.uk. So if you're audible.co.uk and you're listening out there, and you would like to sponsor me for this show, then that would be brilliant. Brilliant, because it goes out to some students, and you could offer them some discounts. Or, you know, Amazon is, I think Audible is I know it is sort of like a subgroup of Amazon. So Amazon or Audible, if you're listening out, I don't mind a bit of promotion. I can give some giveaways. How about that? Yeah, we can have a code. Like I say, if you use this code, you can have 10% off. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? So anyway, the important thing is, I wanted to, what book was I reading or listening to? The book I was listening or reading to was a book called Ghost Flight. And it was by somebody that you will know, because it was Bear Grylls, you know, the action man sort of guy, you know, who does that desert island stuff and things like that. And it was his book, and it was sort of like based on his grandfather, I think it was, and his exploits in the NSA. It wasn't a real life one, it was a fictitious one, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it's going on, it wasn't a complete story. It's going on to another story. I need to look at another book. And as you know, I do not read trilogies. The only trilogy I've read is, I've read a few, but I get bored of them now. I've read Lord of the Rings, 3 books of Lord of the Rings. There was a book called the Belgrade series, which I've read. I actually read The Castle of Wizardry, which I think is the 4th book. Or, no, is it The Castle of Wizardry? It was one of them, Magician's Tower or something like that. I actually read on camp in one day. I actually sat down and just read it. It was quite a good book, that. And I think that's about the only 2 sets of books that I've... Oh, the Dragonlance books. You could tell I was a geeky gamer well, I still am, but when I was younger. So those are the 2 books trilogies that I've actually read, or series of books. So the last book I read or listened to was Ghost Flight by Bear Grylls. Now, if you would like to ask me a question, then you can go to here. This is the web page that you can go to, or just go straight along to wilsonwaffling.co.uk, and there's a link up at the top, and that is the final segment for the final part of Ask Wilson Waffling. And that is it. That is it. We have managed to squeeze everything into that packed show, and you'll be pleased to know that I've still kept my voice, and I've still got about 1 minute from now before I reach the hour. So I'd just like to say, first of all, please remember that you can follow me on Twitter. Feel free to go along and follow me. If you are interested in watching the live show and contributing to it, then by all means go along to my YouTube channel, which is, if you can find it by going to it is I Wilson YSJ, but that's my channel. But if you go to the top of wilsonwaffling.co.uk, you can find a link in there. My last video had 27 views. Thank you, people. I really appreciate that. 27 views. I think it's not the biggest, as you know, but it's going up. It's actually going up. So thank you. We're averaging over 20 a week now, which is fantastic. I appreciate that. So by all means, come along next week and join in the chat if you wish. And also don't forget to check out the forums on the Opinion Minions to have a look and post your comments there if you would like to say anything or say anything about what I've said today. It only remains for me to say thank you very much for coming along today, or thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and it's great to see your comments and see that you've watched it and gave it a like or whatever. Hopefully I'll continue to do this right the way up to episode 100, and then I don't know what I'll do. This has been Wilson Waffling Live, episode 55, and people, consider yourself waffled. Have a great evening, guys, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.
Wilson Waffling. Wilson Waffling.